Do get more of your calls and tweets coming in. In the meantime, we'll read some emails. Ted says, disappointing today, but all is not lost. We will still finish top 4, no doubt. In the lads' view, after the emotions of the PSG game, how tough is it to regain that motivation for the next game?
Well, I think after you get a result like that, I think it's an awful lot harder if you go into PSG and you got beat 3-0 or whatever and you're knocked out of the Champions League. Yeah, it's a bit tougher then on you to be able to get yourself back into the frame of mind to play a big game like today. I think when you get a result like the PSG one, yes, it takes a lot out of your emotion, but you're in a far better state to come into the game because you're buzzing, you're high, you're on a confidence boost. Everything about it is saying we want another game then, you know. So it's not an excuse to say, oh no, the PSG is taking too much out of them.
I like this email from Kay Lawrence. A ridiculous result as we were the best side by far, but let's be positive. We are only 3 points behind the team in third place, a position we would have craved a couple of months ago. True that, Danny, isn't it?
That's some perspective right there. I think she's right. You know, we look back and there's been some dark days there, back end of last year, and Ollie's brought the sunshine back. So, you know, you're going to lose a game. You are. And we're losing it in the right spirit. I think we've... That was evident today, so you know, onwards and upwards.
I'm going to burst into a bit of song there. Always brought the sunshine back. Thought you were going to go into one. David in New Jersey says, a strong showing by everyone, but it just didn't go in the net for us today. The only criticism I would have is that we were too weak in the midfield. Özil and Xhaka had too much freedom, but this is something Ollie can learn from after film review. Would love to hear from the guys about our midfield play. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Our midfield play?
He's got a point. He's got a point there, I think. We did concede a lot of space, I thought, to Arsenal. They are playing at home. You'd expect them to have a fair bit of possession in that particular area. But I thought our lads worked really hard in the midfield. You know, I think Fred put in another decent shift. I think Matic at the back does what he does. And Pogba, yeah, we know we can expect a little bit more from him. It wasn't that he had a bad game or anything like that, but you just know he can give that little bit more. But as I said, if you get a goal earlier on, it changes everything for the players on the pitch then as well, really. But overall, I think, you know, no, we performed well, and that includes midfield.
Okay, back to the lines now. Just in Salford, Gaff is on the line. Hi, Gaff. How are you this evening?
Good evening, guys. You right?
Evening, Gaff.
Evening.
You're right, mate. Yeah, basically a few points. I'm really quite disappointed today. I thought the Arsenal were there for the taking. See, the first 20 minutes, I think half of all the team was asleep, apart from Lukaku. Rashford was making his, sprints like he usually does. But every time Rashford missed something, it's like his confidence, so it wasn't going to go for him. For me, I would have made a few tweaks, just after half time. I would have brought McTominay on. I thought he had a great game in the week. Even could have swapped him with Fred, because they both put a shift in when it comes to PSG. So Fred, for me, played fantastic today, but could have been sub for someone else, a bit more freshness. But yeah, I don't think it was a penalty. I think we could have had a penalty as well. Koscielny dived like a keeper. So yeah, it could have gone our way, but I think for the first 20 minutes, it wasn't like the United that we've been seeing for the past 10 games. We weren't at it, like from the start. So, but yeah, loving to have my team back. Because, David Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, it wasn't just... but having Ollie there, Sir Alex in the background, and, it's back to love United. So, but yeah, today I just think we could have took Arsenal for the taking, but it wasn't to be. But like the old Sir Alex Ferguson teams, we have one blip, and so hopefully we won't lose now till the end of the season. So we should be third.
Thank you, Gaff, for your points this evening. His point about Fred there, I tell you what, Fred is going to be one tired man this week. He's not played a large part of the season. To come into those 2 games and put on a performance like he has is an achievement. Yeah,
it is indeed. You know what I mean? He's wanted to get this opportunity. He talked about it before. You've come to Manchester United, you want to play football there. And, now he's got his opportunity. He wants to really show Ollie what he can do. So you can't show him everything on the training pitch. You've got to show it when it counts. And as we all have said, in the PSG game and in today's game, he's acquitted himself really well. So you can trust him when you put him in there. And I think from that point of view, Ollie will be pleased with it.
And Gav calling for McTominay, maybe he should have been brought on halfway through the second half. What's your thoughts on that, Danny?
I think McTominay's done himself, a lot of favours in his last few performances. He was thrown against Liverpool, and there was a bit of scepticism from one or two people that should he be thrown in, and I thought he equipped himself very well. The PSG game, he was very good, and every game in between it. So I think he was due a rest. He probably could have come on it and made some form of difference in the game today, but that's not to say that possibly I would have swapped him when Matic came off. But at that stage in the game, we're trying to go and get something out of it. So hence why we brought it forward for Matic to try and get something out of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you think about it, Fred is a little bit more creative, I think, than McTominay would be. McTominay's more of a more solid guy in there who will just, as you say, more the Matic job. Whereas we're looking to get a goal, so you're better off with Fred out there than McTominay.
Point I wanted to make as well, Ollie bringing on Mason Greenwood with 10 minutes to go. It's nice to see that 2 goals down, he's bringing on that attacking option.
It takes courage, I think, to play young players. Obviously, the history of this football club is to give young players the opportunity. And you only see the best out of young players, or whether they can cope when you throw them in sometimes at the deep end. Marcus was thrown in the Europa League and he scored 2. Similarly, he went in against Arsenal a few days later and scored another 2. And he burst onto the scene. And this was an opportunity for Mason, these last 2 games, to get a feel of it, to understand what it's like to play at the top. And he'll learn from that. It's not just about what happens today. It's about the bigger picture of how you develop footballers alongside that. And if you don't put them on the pitch, you'll never know.
OK, let's have a little look at your tweets then. It was a good performance today. Were some good chances, a little bad luck, but they pushed to the end and did not give up. United will bounce back. Thank you, Michael, for that. This was bound to happen. We miss on all our huge chances, deserve a win, but this is football. They score on a rare mistake from our goalie and a dive. Good thing this didn't happen in an important knockout game. And you can't win them all, and we've won a lot recently. Thank you, Michael. That is a good point. Back down to earth with a bump. No bad thing. You have to learn from defeats together with the winning. I think that is it. So generally a positive.
All very sensible tweets, I must admit. They're absolutely spot on, but it just shows you that the United supporters are knowledgeable about the game, they're knowledgeable about their team as well, and those tweets were absolutely spot on.
Let's get some reaction from the Emirates now. Ashley Young is with Stuart Gardner.
Actually, we probably created more chances today than we did when we won here in January, and maybe even last season as well. So you're scratching your head a little bit about the scoreline in the end. Yeah,
it's disappointing. I think when you come to a place like Emirates and you create that many chances, you should go on and win the game. And for us, I think it's disappointing with even when they got the first goal. We create chances to go on and win the game, and on another day we put them in the back of the net, and we go home celebrating them with 3 points. But today it's disappointing, and I think even a penalty was harsh. For me, in my eyes, it's never been a penalty, but it's down to the referee to make that decision.
I suppose the first goal's important in these games, and obviously the sort of swerving shot, but before that, Ron put one against the crossbar early on. It's fine margins, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the crossbar, the post, their keepers made saves. It's, on another day, like I say, we come in at half time 2 or 3-0 up, and it wasn't meant to be, and like I say, it's disappointing today.
Just one of those things, really. Just one of those things you have to put down to experience and move on, because you can't win every game, even though you've been doing that pretty much since Ollie took over. Yeah,
of course, it's like I say, it's obviously disappointing. We didn't want to obviously end the run here. We wanted to continue winning. Like I say, on a different day, when you have that many chances, you go on and win the game. You come in comfortably 2 or 3-0 up, and the second half's much easier. But even in the second half, when we went out, we created chances, and on another day we score them and we go away with 3 points.
When you look at the situation now, 8 games to go, Arsenal have got the 4th place at the moment. But do you think it's going to go down to the wire between Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, United?
Yeah, of course it is. I think there's so many points to pick up with so many games left. For me, obviously, if you talk back in October, if we was going to be fighting for 4th place, we would have taken that was where it was. But for me, on personal level and everyone in there, I think the club the size of United should be higher up the league, and that's where I see it. But right now, obviously, we're talking about finishing top 4, and we're going to do everything we can to do that.
Just a word about what happened with the fan coming on as well. We saw what the terrible thing at Villa, obviously, and then today, fan came on towards Chris Smalling. I mean, what was your view of it?
To be honest, it's something that the FA, the Premier League of FIFA have got to sort out. It's the third incident now. I don't know what they're going to do. Is it going to take one of the people that gets on the pitch to attack someone, or have something in their arm, or pull something on one of the players? It's getting to a point where players are feeling vulnerable on the pitch, and whether it's extra stewarding or whatever they need to do, something's got to be done about it, because you can't have 3 fans on the pitch, and like I say, getting that close to players. What is, if it is that something does happen? You saw the incident earlier. We could have broke Jack Grealish's his jaw, and then what happens?
Thanks for speaking to us. Appreciate it. Cheers, mate.
The thoughts of Ashley Young there. Just one tweet before we go. I'm not sad about the performance on another day. Could easily have scored 2 or 3 at least. Must bounce back quickly. Points will be dropped in the top 4 fight by all the contenders. Nearly spat that out. We'll see you in a minute for Matchday Review.
Introducing a new way to read the game in your new Match Centre. Using real-time Opta data from the match, we can keep